Hey, what's going on YouTube? Joe here from Metafish. Hey, it's been a long time. I got this fancy camera and then nobody's seen any videos from me. But I've been super busy, went to a couple different swap meets, 9 to 5 job, working with the kids. You can see my green beans in the background right here. And I just been not feeling good. I got really bad allergies, hence I'm drinking this seltzer right now instead of anything with wheat, barley, grains. I'm actually allergic to fish, and I love fish more than anything, but I don't let that stop me. So, cheers. So let's do a fish room tour video today because I haven't done one in so long. I've been keeping up on things. Basically, this is my shelf. I enjoy hunting, fishing, so I have some stuff stored on this shelf. It needs to be organized a little bit better. But I went to the Northwest Ohio Aquarium Club, NWACA, I think that's how it is. Sorry about that. But ended up picking up some vinegar eels, which I already have some vinegar eels, but here's a I'll show you the super cool trick in an upcoming video. But I want to give a shout out to the guy who sold me the vinegar eels and told me a good way to harvest them. It's, in my opinion, better than what Corey on Aquarium Co-op shows, because then you take too many vinegar eels out. I've had that happen on this bottle, where you put the stuffing on the top of it, and then you put water on top, and then you can take the vinegar eels out of there. It works good, but I got a new tip and trick to show you guys. But anyways, we're going to do a fish room tour video real quick here. I say real quick every single video, but there's actually quite a bit that's changed, so let's just get right into it. Right here, we'll see if we can't zoom in on them. It's going to be hard with holding a drink in one hand, but I'm not going to let that dissuade me. I got little baby rainbow fish. So these are Boesemani rainbow fish from Lake Antinjo. I don't know how good you can see them. They are super tiny. I know it's not zooming in real good on them, but I pulled a mop from them, about a week and a half ago now. This tank's doing good. These are Interruptus. These are a Mabuna species. It's kind of rare in the hobby. I also have my VC10s in here, as well as Fire Ugandas. And there's also a handful of Apache hybrid peacocks in here. But this is a 120-gallon tank up here. Down here is still a ton of blue dolphins. Feed and water change this tank super heavy. This is a 110-gallon tank. They're 2 foot wide, so lots of surface area for these guys. And no lights on. I burned out the light on this tank. Some of the breeder boxes, these are the yellowtail swordtails with the collection point wild caught. I ended up saving all these babies from this tank, which is overpopulated as well. They just got a water change yesterday. But these yellowtail swordtails, I'm gonna have to put this drink down so I can zoom in properly for you guys. I don't want to take up your time. I want to make the video good. Oh, I can't even zoom in with this director's view. But you can kind of see some of the males there. The males are starting to show some tails, so they're subadults. And I'm using Easter grass. You can kind of see the Easter grass down here, as well as some subswasser tang. And I have one rock in there. So the babies do really good in there. I just have to pull them out every once in a while. And we'll swing back over to the breeder boxes. These are some 3-month-old Boesemani rainbow fish. These are some 6-month-old Boesemani rainbow fish. And right there in the middle, you can see the one prey cox. So I only have one prey cox juvenile that made it, and the rest are Boesemani. But very easy to tell them apart. This is my mystery snail babies. They're starting to get some pretty good size to them. Let's try to see if it'll focus on them. But they're super cool to watch. I got 2 breeder boxes full of mystery snails now. And over here, these are my golden koi angelfish, as well as some Geophagus steindachneris. These are the red hump Geophagus. Super nice fish. I really love them. They actually have really nice color. I think they're one of the coolest, nicest community fish you can get. Those are a mouth brooder. Underneath this tank, something I do not recommend anybody ever does, because you can see how bad they're leaning. They already blew through the bottom, so I put tanks down here, and it blew the bottom board out. Stupid, but when you run out of room, you start putting fish where you can put fish. So these are blue dolphins. They're super healthy, super happy. Some of these guys are close to 4 inches. So in this tank over here, there's one white lab. He's probably 5 inches. He's a huge male yellow lab. Sorry, very common yellow Labradorochromis. These are my Kenyes. I still haven't moved all those on, but they're doing really good. Some of these were just little tiny half-inch juveniles. Now they're getting some size to them. Down here, I haven't done too much work to this tank. These are the Dimitochromis strigatus up top here. And then also I have some breeding pairs of the Neolamprologus cygnus. These are a Lake Tanganyikan species. So I have Neolamprologus cygnus with Dimitochromis strigatus in a 75 gallon here. They don't really mess with each other. They occupy different levels of the water column. So these are the rest of my koi and gold angelfish, looking super good. Ever since I got the cygnus out of here, the cygnus were actually picking on the angelfish, so I moved them out of there. And I've been talking all day. I'm sorry, I'm about to lose my voice, but we'll get through as much as we can. And if you see any prices, like I'm just going to show this. These are my local prices. They're a little different. It's more expensive to order online because I'm basically charging you for what it costs me for shipping, and then it takes me as much as 2 hours and supplies and styrofoam boxes, and I guarantee live on arrival. So just if you want these fish shipped, it does cost more money than if you're local. If you're local, you know, I don't try to make any money off locals. I just want to grow the hobby around here. So some of the local prices might be a little cheaper than what you see on mymetafish.com. But I got so many compliments at the swaps I went to on how beautiful some of these angelfish are, and I didn't take my best ones or my worst ones to these swaps. I was just picking them as they came up. Angelfish are super easy to net, and this is kind of nice. You can see all my 5 gallons, which are doing amazing. This was one of my last videos. Somebody was asking about this. Did you put any fish in the 5 gallons yet? We filled them up just as soon as I put them in service here, so I kind of got to get on a ladder here, show you guys what we got going on here. So we got these red endlers. They're super nice. I picked out some of the nicest males, put them in with some of the females. They're already breeding in here. And then these are one of my new favorites. These are the Galaxy Guppies, albino Galaxy Guppies. So I picked these up in Indianapolis at an auction, and I absolutely love them. You can see some of the fry in here, and I heard they're really hard on their fry, but I have Java moss in here, and I feed them really heavy. Feed them all this brine shrimp over here. And you keep them well fed, they're going to want to eat those brine shrimp. They're not going to want to eat their babies. So that's one tip. These are white-tailed ACI as well as Eastern Happy Blue strain. So I just took some of the Eastern Happy from this tank because there's too many fish. You don't want to crowd a tank too much. And I put them in here with these white-tailed ACI, which are Mbuna. And as juveniles, they can both eat pretty high protein food. It doesn't really matter that much. You know, you just want to grow them nice and healthy. And so far, you know, it's the adults that really get the bloat from what I've seen with Mbuna. Looks like I have raccoon eyes from this lighting. But I have been mowing the grass, 3 different properties, doing everything I can just to stay busy. Well, I don't want to stay busy, but I got a lot of obligations, I guess. So these are my mutt guppies. They were teeny tiny when you last seen them. Now they're starting to look pretty nice. So this is just a tank of mutt guppies. We saved these from the 100 gallon that's behind us here. These are Geophagus steindachnerii. So these are almost 3/4 inch. And these are all just 5-gallon tanks. Yeah, they're about 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch. So they're my latest batch. These are super cool. These are the Poecilla obscura. So they're not endlers, they're not guppies. They are collected from Trinidad. So the video is probably not going to do them justice, but they got lots of different colors. They look more like an endler than anything, but I thought they were strange, obscure, just like their name, Obscuras. So that's pretty cool. These have been doing amazing for me. These are my blue French Star Endlers. I really love this fish. They've been breeding pretty good in this tank over the last couple months. So I probably have about 20 babies growing up in the Java moss. And they don't look that blue. I wish I could zoom in for you guys. But for an Endler, I never had a blue Endler before. So now I have blue Endlers here. I got my red Endlers up there that I'm trying to breed out. And I also have my black bar Endlers. I have my snakeskin Endlers. I'm just a big Endler fan. And so are a lot of people. Just because you can have a small tank and you can really keep a lot of Endlers in here. So some of them are starting to come to the front of the tank. I don't know. I'll have to do a different video. These are Turkish cichlids. They're hiding. They're pretty skittish. These guys are really skittish too. They come out to eat and, you know, but whenever I got the lights on, these are my Daisy's rice fish. These are Orazzius wowerae. So one of the more common ones, but they're the blue rice fish. They're actually a really pretty fish. So interestingly, they had eggs on their anal fin. That's how they raise their babies, but I haven't seen any fry yet. So twice they had eggs on their anal fin. So I'm hopeful that I'm going to start seeing some fry there. My barrels are filled up, unfortunately. I've been trying to move some fish because summertime's coming, not as many people. You might be feeling it too with the summer burnout. Every year I get less excited in the summertime, and then when wintertime comes, I get super excited about fish, and I go a little bit more into the fish, try to breed more of them. These are Venustus cichlids, and I know you guys might think, oh, it's bad, you have them in these barrels, but I check on them all the time, keep the barrels clean. They're 55 gallons of water. They have cycled filters in all the barrels, and they do get some light. I mean, fish don't need as much light as maybe you think they do. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being a bad person by keeping them in barrels, but I kind of joke about it, like kind of like the vampire tetras. Maybe they'll go blind and there'll be a new species. It's kind of bad, but I ran out of space, so I don't have a lot of fish in these. These are convicts. These are pink convicts here. This is a red devil, so I know he's already killed 2 of my fish. I don't know how many he killed before I got him. He's probably about 7-8 inches. But I need to sell him. He needs to go to a new home. And then these are the red-tailed Gudeids. And what's interesting about these is I got a whole bunch of red-tailed Gudeids. Apparently in Indianapolis, people are breeding them, but nobody knows the location variant for them. And for me, I'm getting a little more specific. I want to know where the location they were collected at. It means more to me. So I kind of just put them in here. I'm probably going to sell them off. There might be 30 fish in there. So then I have these pork rind containers, or some of them are pretzel containers, excuse me. And this is really cool. These are Goodyear Doadroy with a collection point. There's 1 pair in here, so they're like the red-tailed Goodyear, but they're a little bit more shiny. So I believe they're the Doadroy. Let me check. Yep. Doadroy, and I know the collection point for them. So if these ones breed, that means more to me from a conservation standpoint. And then there's just 1 blue Moscow guppy male in there. So these guys were super small when I bought them. They weren't super cheap either, but to me it means more when I get the collection point. So I paid more for those 2 little fish than I paid for probably 20 of the fish in this barrel. So But that's just me. You YouTubers probably understand that, or some of you do, who have been in this hobby for a really long time. If you want a pretty tank of fish, I can get them to you cheap. If you want something else, then it kind of changes. So I have a lot of fish in here. These these were all teeny tiny little babies. Mommy's in here too. These are blue Moscow guppies in a 1-gallon container. It's about time they get their own home. And over here is something I'm pretty excited about. This is a really pretty, these are the Alvarezi swordtails. And they were tiny when I got them. They've already probably ×8, ×10 in size. But the Alvarezi swordtails, it's a wild caught swordtail, very pretty. So over here I got another batch of angelfish growing up. These are the marbled koi angelfish. So they're gonna look, these little guys, let's put the camera right up next to them. Doesn't seem to be zooming in that great. But they're gonna look just like these guys. So half of them are gonna look like these normal koi platinum type angelfish, and half of them are gonna look like this marble style angelfish. So over here, I think these two big, beautiful veil-tail koi angelfish that I bought from New York. Shout out to Angel Mania. Your fish are still doing amazing. I think they paired off because they were chasing off the other angelfish in that tank. There's probably 6 of them, so I moved them. I moved the 6 over here, and they're doing great. So they're living in with my high color variety of koi angelfish. And then I also have bronze swordtails in here. I finally got a male. He's super big. He's probably like a 5-inch swordtail, and then here's some of the females. They're pregnant, so I don't know. I probably should move them, try to get some of these swordtail babies, because that's another rare collection point swordtail that I have. But I don't know that they're the prettiest swordtail that I have, so here's the male right here. Look how big his sword is. But I've taken pretty good care of him ever since. I mean, I got them as a super small fry too. So this tank's overcrowded. I know I probably shouldn't even show you. These are my white labs and Punamillo macrocephalas from Lake Victoria. Again, I'm mixing Mabunas with Lake Victorians. But as juveniles, you can get away with it a lot easier, especially if you crowd them. Crowding's the key. So both those groups need another home. I have one albino white-tailed ACI, and these are also white-tailed ACI here. These are all my breeder boxes. These are Hippo Point salmon. These are ruby green Victorian cichlids. These are Eastern Happies. In here, I wish I could zoom in on this camera, but I can't. These, well, there's a Geophagus that you just see swimming around, and you probably don't even see them, but these are some of the Julidochromis marleri that I bred, and they're probably 2.5, 3 inches. So these are blue dragon blood peacocks. So I took these before I sold the group of blue dragon bloods. They're a beautiful cichlid. For a hybrid, I just couldn't help myself. I had to take one more batch of fry, and these are also dragon bloods down here. So we'll see what they turn out to be. I've told you before, I'm trying to get out of the hybrid market, but you know, it's hard when that's what sells and that's what people want, and it gets them involved in the hobby. You kind of have to have a little bit of everything. So these are my black bar endlers. I sold a couple bags of these at the auctions. Super prolific. They got a ton of Java moss in here. It's really quite the self-sustaining tank. I mean, there's probably 200 fish in that tank. This is a rare fish. These are the Ateneo nubius tower's eye. I have no idea if I pronounced that right. They've bred probably 3 times in this tank already. Like a Goodyead, they have very large fry, but not as many of them. I managed to save these 2 little white labs. They were swimming around and not getting eaten in my white lab breeding tank down here. Look at this. My my multifasciatus shell dwellers have gone bonkers. So I sold 2 bags at the auction just of fry that I could easily scoop out, but there's so many fry in here now. Every single female has started breeding with the males. I need to get them some more shells. This is a 40-gallon tank. But they're just doing great. It's fun to watch. They're an awesome fish. There's a reason they're so popular. These are my blue Moscow guppies. So these guys might end up going out to the pond this year, some of them. I got some ponds set up too. There's also blue Moscow guppies in here, and I put Atripinus goodeids in here. So that's an Atripinus goodeiid. They're much more big and aggressive than the guppies. They're actually super wide. They get along really good with cichlids. But it's one of those rare goodeids, so I had to pick it up. These are my Boesemani rainbow fish. I got some more of those. I've been slowly taking them to swaps and auctions. These are my Neolamprologus cygnus. These are the larger, probably about 2.5, 3 inch. These are the smaller. These are probably about 1.5, 2 inch. So 2 separate spawns. Really cool, like Brichardi type cichlid. These are my breeders. The sorry, drawing a blank. White Labs and Pundamilla macrocephala. I ended up having too many angelfish, so I moved some of them here. And one of my new favorites, these are the Pearl Danios. I love them. I love how active they are. They love brine shrimp. They get brine shrimp every day. You can see they're all begging for food. Probably too many fish for a 20 long. Well, I know it's too many fish for a 20 long, but you do the best you can do. So I've been moving some fish out. I'll probably move some of these over to a new tank here soon. They don't seem stunted. You can tell when angelfish really start getting stunted, their top and bottom fins will start bending over. So I think I've slowed them down, but I don't think, you know, eventually if I kept them this way, they would probably stunt forever. But I haven't had that issue. As long as you keep moving fish out, even if you only take 5 to 8 out of the colony at a time, that gives them enough room just to feel like they can grow more. I'm a big fan of overstocking your tanks with all fish, but you have to keep up on water changes. You got to do things right. Anyways, these are my Xenotaka variata, which are very pretty fish, as well as my red swordtails. The Xenotaka variata are just so shiny. They're like, they call them the jeweled goodeiid because they look like jewels. They're just they got such shiny patterns on them. And this lighting is not doing them justice. So this video is already 23 minutes long. So check this out. I sold the pool table. I got rid of all those fish that were there. That was another project that I did a couple weeks ago. Over here, these are my buckets bubbling with water. They used to have fish in them. Now I use them for water changes. I need to do a quick water change on this tank full of blue pink spotted guppies. They're not all going to be good. I'm going to have to cull through them a little bit, but they breed pretty true, so shouldn't be an issue. These are my Chipimbi Tropheus. Doing super good. They keep breeding in here, but I'm not really taking the fry. They're getting about adult size. Like this one right here. You know, they're a solid 3 inches now. It's taking some time. These are my deep water haps. And I recently sold the Geophagus brasiliensis. And I sold one of the male deep water haps. So they have a 90-gallon tank all to themselves. Let's see, these guys are gonna hide. These are my Taiwan reefs. One male, bunch of females, still not breeding for me. Nothing much up here. These are my multicolor Victorias. They're super pretty, but I don't think the lights are gonna do them justice. And yeah, those are my Lilupis up there. I got two Lilupis down here. They still haven't bred for me. I don't know what's going on. I might have to start with a new batch. These are my blue golds. They're really hidey when the lights are off. And these are my Tropheus red Morillos. Sorry, the name's drawing a blank. But these are my red-tailed swordtails. This is a male right here. And there's also Geophagus Steindachneris in here. That one's holding a batch of eggs right there. Super nice fish. I wish I could breed more of them. They're pretty rough on their young though. So the best I've done is putting them outside in a pond situation. More babies up here. These are ruby red peacocks mixed with red empress, which should be a really cool combination. Just for male tanks only because it's a hybrid. Christmas Fulus, that's a Victorian species. Oh, these are the Tropheus red Cachis. That's what those other males are. Down here are my 180-gallon tank full of angelfish. I got my koi blushing high coverage angelfish as well as the gold angelfish in this tank. And they're loving it because every swap I'm pulling 20 to 25 fish out of here, and that gives them room to grow and they get a big water change. Lava Rocks is where I cycle all my media. Super healthy, big eaters. So if you want angelfish, I haven't disappointed anybody yet. I don't think you're going to find a better value angelfish than if you order from us. I said that about the Santa Maria Endlers too, and I ended up selling quite a few of them. So that market is, I bet I've supplied really nice Santa Maria Endlers to probably about half the people in the United States who have those. So get on it. We're not here to make $1 million. We're just here to help the hobby and maybe pay our bills with all the work that we do down here. These are already sold. These are the Neochromis omniceruleus. Somebody wants that entire group. I finally got my super red bristlenose plecos breeding again. So there's some babies in here. I had to tear the entire tank apart to get them out of here. And here's my pleco tank, and these are Christmas Fulu Victorians who jumped into the tank. So I have to deal with that. You know how it is, I gotta tear this whole tank apart just to catch these guys because they're so fast. But there's always jumpers. Jumpers will always jump out of your breeder boxes. It's inevitable. We went probably 4 months until we started having jumpers, so I just haven't dealt with getting them out of there yet. But I will. And then shout out to Mike on the west side of the state. Your albino plecos, which I traded you for, doing amazing. I got 2 breeder boxes full of them. They got green beans last night and they're already gone, so probably feed them green beans again. Just more babies. Christmas Fulus. These are ruby reds. I got 1 albino out of the mix. They could probably use a new tank soon. I've been really treating my Tropheus duboisii Maso wild caughts really good. They've been producing for me. Speaking of Mike, these are Tropheus which are going to be going to you. Probably tonight I'm going to move this size Tropheus over to this 10-gallon over here. I'm going to move them in with these guys, and that'll be your group. So there's 18 here, and I believe there's 12 in the other breeder box. And that'll be an amazing Tropheus group for you in the future. And anybody who wants Tropheus, there is a wait list on those. And I have some more growing up, which you'll see here in a second. These are the adults. What's up, guys? You're my favorite. Look, that one's holding. And I know she's only been holding maybe a week, so I'm going to give her another week, and then I'll pull the eggs. Because I tore the tank apart and ended up with these little guys. So they were nothing but eggs, and I didn't even know if they were fertilized at first. but they're all super healthy and happy, and I got the tumbling down to a science. And that's probably Dad right there. But these are big fish, and they're just my favorite. Super personable. I love them. But Tropheus is a love-hate relationship, you know. Get them from a local breeder. Don't order from a fish farm. I've had bad luck. Don't mix them. You know, do a species-only tank. If you really want to be successful with Tropheus and really enjoy them, species-only tank. Get them from a local breeder. And personally, if you're new to Tropheus, I say start with Tropheus duboisii. You can't beat the Maswas. They have the big yellow bar. If you get any other location variant of the duboisii, they're going to have a white bar. They're going to have a thinner yellow bar. And I don't think that's as pretty. So, and they're about the same price. You can get them cheaper from a hobbyist. So, these are new. These are I don't have the tag here. They're my Limia. Oh, I should remember. Sorry, it's been another one of those days. I always record these videos. I should record a video in the morning when I'm fresh. Vittata, Limia vittata, they get big. These are another rare live bear. They're probably not as rare as they used to be, but a bunch of juveniles in that tank. These are snakeskin orchid endlers, which you don't see too often. They're not just the snakeskin they're not the orchid endler, they're the snakeskin orchid endler. So it's a color morph off of the orchid endler. I have a free tank. Can you imagine that? I've been busy trying to make free tanks. These are more of the ruby red Empress hybrids. A couple of them jumped into this tank, which this is full of the blue pink spotted delta tail guppies. Super pretty guppy, but very prolific. This is multicolor Victorias. They got their own tank with some Pundamilla macrocephala, two species of cichlids that I really like. This is one of my bread and butter fish right here. I wish it would zoom in a little better. But these are my snakeskin, well, tiger endlers they call them, snakeskin endlers. I have another tank of them down here. But super pretty endler. They're yellow and have some really nice patterns. Females for all the endlers are drab. These are more blue Moscow guppies. They actually have a light on them. I really like the blue Moscows. These are Santa Maria endlers. I got one of my best breeding males. Oops. I don't want that. There we go. Look at the tail on that guy. Two of them are just stellar. And then there's some that I should probably cull out of the herd. So if you order Santa Maria endlers for me, you're only going to get some of the best. I don't send any shoddy Santa Maria endlers. If you're paying the money for shipping, this is basically a muck guppy tank. Blue-red metallic guppies, but they don't breed as true as you can tell with that one. This is what I'm looking for. He's pretty close to the blue-red metallic. They remind me of like a transformer. I think I've said it before, but I don't have the line 100% set. More Santa Maria endlers, and I think I have the best in the business. So unless you can find them cheaper, I think I'm the best bet in town. I guarantee live on arrival. So black bar endlers here. These are beautiful fish, but they take a long time to color up. These are the blue golds. Yeah, they're like the Taiwan reefs, except they have a little different color pattern. The only common name I could find is blue gold. They're the I'll think of it as soon as I take the camera off of them. But I've been growing these for quite a while. You can tell this guy's a male right here. He's just starting to show some color. It's probably about 3 inches, maybe 3.5. And then I would think some of the smaller ones are females. Got a couple tanks up here. Just more fish. This is my throw anything in it that you don't have a place for tank. So I got a blue dolphin, big blue dolphin. That looks like a female. No, that's a male. And some yellow blaze lithobates, some other random stuff. This is a really nice tank. I try to throw some of my nicer fish in here just because customers tend to focus on it because it's at eye level. I never realized how important that was until you start dealing with customers. So this is going to be another orange dragon blood. I sold my best one to Mike because he is going to... I didn't even know this guy was going to look similar to this, but he's starting to come into his own now that I've brought a couple of the nicer male fish out of here. This is a Dimidochromis and a sulfur head peacock hybrid. You can tell by the body shape, for any of you cichlid nuts out there, that it's kind of a mix in between it. It's kind of got the Dimidochromis body shape, but he's definitely got a different color pattern. But yeah, this is a 75 gallon, 75 gallon. These are Apache peacocks. I'm starting to grow out. Some of them are starting to show some color. This guy's going to be pretty nice peacock for somebody. I actually like him more than a ruby red. He's got that dark black bar on top. But usually you'll only get about 4 males that start showing color. Like this guy is going to be alright. He's going to be an Apache peacock. These are all hybrids. So down here are my ruby red. They're actually wild caught. Oop, don't want to put my hand there. And then Neochromis omniceruleus breeders. These guys just got a big water change a couple days ago, I think. So here's a ruby red male. But they're about 3 inches on the males. And then these are the Neochromis females. I thought I saw one holding yesterday, but this is the male. They're a pretty nice fish. Need to clean the glass. The glass, this gets too much light. That is just too much light with no plants and this many fish. It doesn't matter how often I do water changes, the glass still gets algae on it. So I gotta tweak that. Did you guys eat all your babies? Where's all your babies? I haven't wanted to get in here and do a thorough cleaning on the glass. There they are. Look at all the babies. You left all your babies. He's a beautiful dad too. That's that marbled koi, and you can see how his fin's kind of bent over there. And here's mom over here. And look at all the babies. So they're starting to learn how to raise them. So these babies need to eat. So I have to figure out if I'm gonna... Last time I fed brine to these guys, the parents went into a feeding frenzy and decided they weren't gonna distinguish baby from brine, so they ate all their babies. So I have to make a decision here if I'm gonna feed brine to this tank and hope the parents don't eat the babies, or if I take the babies with a net, like they're free swimming, I could net them out right now and then start feeding them baby brine shrimp in another container. So there's a look into what I'm going to be doing right after this video. These are Christmas Fulus. I don't know if I took the best male to the auction. No, here he is. They're really pretty fish. They got kind of all the colors, red and green predominantly. But you know my heart's in the Victorian species. I love them. These guys could use a little bit of a clean, but it's a small group of fish. These are the blue Eastern Happies. You can see that female in the back. It's got a huge mouthful of eggs. And there's the one male right there. But the Eastern Happy is usually a yellow fish. And these are the blue variant of that, the collection point. So I gave the multicolor Victorias a little bit of a... Look, she's holding. See, that didn't slow them down at all. I put some blue dolphins in here just so they had a little more company, because 3 fish in a 29 gallon, hey girl, I should probably take your babies, but I have quite a few. It's a really cool small, they stay small. It's a African cichlid that isn't from one of the main 3 lakes. So multicolored Victorias. I'm trying to get a breeding pair out of these guys. I have a mix of angelfish here. I have some of the veil tails from New York, and then I have some of the ones I picked up at GVAC, which are the high coverage blushing, and I'm trying to pair them off in the free time that I have, and I'm experiencing summer burnout and blah blah blah. These are Hippo Point salmon. These are my original breeders, full grown, large Christmas Fulus. And it never stops. Hope you guys are having fun. I hope you're having a great night. If you are, hit that like button, subscribe. It means the world to this channel. If I can get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be much more motivated to do more of these videos. So anyways, there's my plug. So here's Santa Maria Endlers. Super nice in this tank. I'm trying to do some of my best ones to continue the line in this tank. So you have to have multiple tanks set up for any species that you want to be serious about breeding. So that's one of them. I also have some Santa Maria Endlers in here, but it's mostly babies, and then this one really nice male. And down here it's pretty cool. These are one of the rare rainbow fish. Starting to put on some size. They were super small when I bought them. We're talking 1/4 of an inch. And rainbow fish are slow growers, so they're doing good. Basically just more fish along every row. Will go super quick. Blue dolphins, ruby green cichlids, growing them out. I got some nice VC10s here in Chilotilapia euchillus, and then I threw some peacocks in here. So this is one of my sulfur head Apache peacocks. Glass is dirty, but they get automatic water changes. It's all good. Chromotilapia guntheri. This is a cool fish. If anybody's looking for a pair of these, I don't need this many fish, but I couldn't resist. It's such a rare fish that you don't see very often. I had to buy them. These are also ruby greens. I need to fix that filter, clean the glass. All these bottom tanks need glass cleaning. These are my zebra obliquidans. And the male's looking pretty nice. He's bred with the females a few times. These are more blue dolphins, more blue dolphins. So there, I can stand up. Done with the bottom row. These are yellow blaze lithobait hybrids. I don't know exactly what I'm doing with those, but got to figure it out. These Julidochromis marlar eyes bred again. There's a bunch of little babies in here. I don't know if they're going to show themselves. These need a front glass cleaning. These are some of my breeder Hippo Point salmon. Sometimes they look better than others. These are growouts, Venustus, Dragon Bloods, Apache peacocks. Right there, like that looks like a ruby red peacock, but it's not. It's a hybrid. So you got to be careful, and you got to know who you're getting your fish from. I have both ruby reds and I have hybrids, and I will not sell you a hybrid fish. Well, I'll sell you a hybrid fish, but I'm going to tell you it's hybrid fish. I'm going to sell it a little bit cheaper, honestly. These are my Bosemani breeders. They were looking amazing a day ago. Mornings, they always look better. Just like Gary Lang says, it's true. They look great in the morning when they're spawning. These are my threadfin rainbow fish. They hide quite a bit. Praecox rainbow fish breeders. I really haven't been focusing on them. VC10 grow out, super VC10s. Dragon Bloods. This guy's got a bad mouth. He was injured. This guy is going to be basically for sale. He's not going to show himself because he probably doesn't want to be sold. This is a yellow Calvus. And here's my yellow Calvus babies that I was so excited about. They're finally starting to put some size on. 7 of them. So they've been getting the brine shrimp 3 times a day minimum. And they were so small when I pulled them out of this tank. And the female's super small too, but I think she's on eggs again. That's the male right there. And I haven't seen the female in 4 or 5 days. And that's exactly what happened last time that she spawned. The male kind of had her up in a cave, and you just see a little dot squiggling around the bottom. They blend in so good. I had to tear the whole tank apart, use a giant net, and I ended up getting all 7 babies that were out of there and raising them up from little teeny tiny dots. And I was feeding them micro worms, vinegar eels. I don't think they were big enough to eat brine shrimp, but I could be wrong. But I started them on micro worms, and yeah, they're getting there. They're about a 1/4 inch now, so I'm super excited to have those. This is one of my Pleco, Super Red Pleco breeder tanks. There's a male trying to attract a mate right there. So this is where I got the last batch of babies from. These are my Fire Uganda breeders. And this is another Super Red Pleco breeder tank. A little dirtier. I need to tear this tank apart. But that's where my Super Red Plecos are. My arm's getting sore from holding this camera. I know the front glass is dirty, but I use this to grow out some of my little juveniles. Pundamilla macrocephala. These are the blue golds. These are ruby reds. That male's already showing a little bit of color. I sold these guys at the last swap, so I should probably move some of these over. These are straight up Red Empress, Super Red Empress, great stock. So I need to grow these ones up. And these are more Eastern Happies, and you hear that noise? That's these guys splashing the water because they know how to get my attention. And this is just a mixed tank. We got Victorian fish, we got Mabunas, we got peacocks, and they all do good. And it's actually a 60-gallon tank. Down here, is the light even on this? Yeah, it is. So I got water sprite, I got red-tailed gadiids, these big fish right here. Those are the females. And then I have tiger endlers. Here's one of the males. And I think I've shown you on other videos. I think they're a beautiful, pretty fish. The gadiids are super cool. If you haven't done gadiids, I highly recommend them. It's just another one of those species that's just really enjoyable. They're not, just because they're rare, don't be afraid of them. That doesn't mean they're less hardy. And these are my Angel Mania black angelfish. Trying to pair a couple of those off, basically just trying to grow them in a 29-gallon right now. They're the blue Pinoys. So with the right lighting on them, they look super nice. I got a couple veil-tail Pinoys right here. Beautiful fish. I wish I could zoom in and put a nice light on some of these. But they're amazing. Especially, yeah, this guy's really nice right here. I mean, look at the fins on him. And he's got that green-blue sheen through his body. And then I got a couple more veil-tails. I really hope a veil-tail will pair off, start spawning for me. That's the goal. So I got angelfish on the top 3 up here. I got fish everywhere. So, hey, it's been a long video. It's been a long time since I've seen everybody. Like, sub, shoot me a comment. I try to respond to every comment. I really appreciate it. I hope life's going great for everybody. And stay safe, stay healthy, and keep those hands wet. All right, talk to you later.